Hi everyone, welcome to Health 280. This is for fall 2021 and we are going to get started in week one. So first off, you should see that there's this Health 280 Global Health with Lauren Noble as your banner up here. And so we're going to go down, you'll see my introduction video there. So we're going to go down to week one. So for every single week, you will have a to-do item that states exactly what you'll be doing for the entire week and then how long each item is expected to last. So for a 3-credit course, which is what everybody signed up for, you should expect to do about 7.5 hours of work each week. Now, it won't necessarily be exactly 7.5 hours per week, but it is likely to average out to that at the end of the semester. Some weeks you'll have more information or maybe a heavier assignment that takes longer. So you'll notice that this week we have one assignment that could take 3 to 4 hours to complete. That doesn't mean it is going to take that long, or maybe it takes you a little bit longer. This is the average. So first off, we'll be starting with chapter 1. Each week we'll be going through 1 to 2 chapters, and we'll be reading that entire book of global health throughout the course. After each chapter, you'll have a quiz that you'll have to do. For the first couple weeks, I have scanned the chapter just because I know sometimes it can take a while to get the book, or things happen. So it's not as good of quality as if you had the book right in front of you, but this is something that you'll be able to reference in case that you need it and you don't have access to the book. So once you've read the chapter, you can go to the quiz and take the quiz. And like it states here, you have about 20 to 40 minutes to complete the quiz. It is pass-fail, so you do have the option to take it over again if you need to, but taking those quizzes will help you with your ultimate score on your exams. You will have 4-unit exams throughout the course of the semester, and each quiz will help you with learning that and maintaining that knowledge that you gain. So once you've done that, I would recommend moving on to the nation research assignment. So here, I'm going to move my face so that way you guys can see a little bit more. I'll scroll down a little bit. Okay, so for your first dive into global health, we're going to be researching different nations and their current health status and then sharing it with our peers through discussion boards. So the first thing I want you to do is watch this TED Talk, and it is going to explain what SPI, or the Social Progress Index, is and how it's calculated. Once you've done that and you understand a little bit more about what it is, then you can go into the discussion board information. So the first thing I want you to do is click on this link and you'll pick a nation. So I'm going to explain it a little bit first and then I'll go to this link. So when you click on this link, it's going to bring up a map of the world and you can pick any nation. Just remember that it's first come, first serve. I don't want anybody having duplicate nations. So if somebody else has chosen Japan and you really wanted to pick Japan, you need to pick something else because it is first come, first serve. You cannot pick the United States. You have to go outside of that. You're going to compare the US to your nation as part of this assignment. So once you've picked your nation, then you create your first discussion board post and name the subject line. That's claiming your nation for the assignment. And then after you've read through the Social Progress Index and you've understood the assignment a little bit more, then you'll be able to complete it, and you'll just go in and comment on your post where you've claimed your nation. And then for your nation, this is what you need to do. So you're going to click on this, and so let's say you want to choose, we don't want updates. Okay, so we're going to pick Algeria. So the first thing that you have to do is they have to have a scorecard. There are a few nations that do not have a scorecard available. And so one thing that you need to make sure is that it does have a scorecard. And so this is where you will get your information that you need. So Algeria, you have obviously your basic human needs, water sanitation, foundations of well-being, access to basic knowledge, and so on. So what you'll do is you'll use this scorecard, go back through, and so what you need to do is read through the data, see how it's being scored. You need to choose the top 3 best score areas and the top 3 worst score areas for your nation. This is subjective because what you might see as 3 areas that are good might not be what other people see as good. So you need to identify that. And then on your own, research your nation and find out why they are doing well in those 3 best areas and poorly in the 3 worst areas. I want to see a basic explanation as to why they achieved the good or the bad scores. And then you'll compare your nation to the US. And so it says right here, looking at their scorecard versus the US's. So you'll use this site right here to compare. You can click on here. So you can select up to 3 countries. And so you'll add a country, you'll identify Algeria, if I can spell it, and then the United States. And so this is going to show you, if we do that, so you'll click down here and choose your dimensions. So if you say that water and sanitation is one of the things that Algeria does the best, you'll identify why that is, and you can go through and identify where their score is and how they compare to the US. Sorry, my dogs are being very, very loud. I'm not sure if you can hear that. Okay, so back on track, discussion board. So for 5 points, you'll get the name and the geographical area of the world that your nation is located in, North America, Africa, Asia, so on. So that's 5 points. Then 10 points, provide the following scores. I want their social progress index score and their ranking. Then I also want their GDP per capita and their ranking. So this can be found in the scorecard. If we go back here, so here's their social progress index score, their rank, and then their GDP PPP per capita. So this is their score, their value, and then their rank. So this is the information that you'll want to find for that second piece of this discussion board. So that's 10 points. The bulk of this discussion board is going to be briefly outlining the top 3 best and the 3 worst areas for your nation and why you think they have these scores. You don't have to do paragraphs. They can just be a few sentences per area. And then finally, in 15 points, for 15 points, in a paragraph, I want you to explain how your nation compares to the US. Are they the same, better, or worse, and why do you think these differences exist? After you've completed this, your main discussion board is complete, but you also need to complete a response to at least 3 of your peers. So this is for 20 points. I want this to be meaningful. Don't say, wow, that's a great point, or yes, I agree with you. I want you to question things, ask why. Have you thought about this? Or, wow, that's a very valid point you have. I hadn't thought about it that way. This makes me think of blank. So really make it a in-depth personal response to 3 of your peers. And I state it right here, things like good post, that was really interesting, it will not count. So you need to move the conversation forward. So this assignment has 3 to 4 hours associated with it because it can take you a very long time, and I expect this to have a lot of detail in it. Then finally, your last assignment for the week is to complete your ethical approach reflection. This course does have an ethics designated credit associated with it. So you'll click on this, your ethical approach survey. You will have to download a file, and so you'll click on this, enable editing, and then you'll be able to complete it. once you've completed that Excel file, it's really, I don't know if you're familiar with Likert scales, but it's, a numerical association with values. So, how strongly you agree or disagree with something. So it will have a statement, and then, you'll indicate if you feel strongly that you agree with that or if you don't agree with it, and then it will assign values to that. So you will be given your top 3 approaches. So you'll use that information to complete this discussion board. Now, I realize this week has 2 discussion boards associated with it, and not every week will be so discussion board heavy. It really is just this first week to get you going. So you will use the information that you gain from the Ethical Approach Survey and create a discussion board with the following information. So what are your top 3 approach styles based on the percentage found in the Results tab? You can just list this as numbers. So say 3, 5, and 6. Those are your top approaches. And then for 50 points, I want you to write a reflection paragraph that addresses what did you learn from the results? Do you agree with the findings? Why or why not? And then, as there can often be, if there is a situation where 2 of your viewpoints conflict with each other, how would you decide what to do and why? So these 3 points, that's 50 points of the discussion board. And so once you've completed this, then I want feedback to at least 2 of your peers. And this runs the same as the previous one, meaningful, thought out. I want to know, thought-provoking questions. That's what I want to see. And provide analysis. So again, I thought the same thing, or great job, wow, good post. That does not meet the requirements. So you'll need to dig really deep into this information. So this is what you have for week 1. Again, if you have any questions, I'm available through email most often, and I can schedule office hour appointments Tuesdays and Thursdays. Just email me to get that set up with me. And have a great week, and I'm looking forward to seeing the great work that you do. Thanks.